So this is tutorial 7 for the HTML project. And obviously you've seen so far I've made a page about unicorns. I've showed you how to add the most basic HTML elements. I've shown you how to style them using a style sheet that controls the same sort of elements on each page. So we can see they're all controlled by that style sheet. For example, if I wanted to change the color, I could do. What we're going to do now is, instead of all your text being laid out and then you have an image underneath your text and you have more text underneath the image and it's all very much like one thing after another, we're going to show you how to make floating boxes, and they can contain your images and your text. So they're called divs, these floating boxes. Believe it or not, they're called divs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put a div around this text and this image, and we're going to make them one sort of like little box that they're both contained within. Before I do that though, I'm going to make the picture of the unicorn only 200 pixels. That's by doing that. So where does the paragraph start? It says here, doesn't it? This is my mega awesome website. So just the line above that, we're going to put a triangular bracket and we're going to write div. Right, we're going to do that. And I'm going to take the second one of those and just going to stick it underneath the image. So the image and the paragraph are both stuck inside of this div. They're part of it. If I hit it, you get that. So they're within it now. Div starts, div finishes. Okay, not done anything yet though, has it? So a div is something that can be controlled completely by the style sheet. So I'm going to give it an ID. And my ID is going to be in speech marks. And that ID will allow us to control that particular thing from the style sheet. So my ID is going to be page 1, so P1 underscore, so shift and the sort of minus key underscore, and we're going to call it div1. Very original there, but it just gives us a bit more of a clue as what to do. And if you want to make more divs, you can give them different IDs, and that way they can all be controlled separately, but all from the style sheet. So P1 underscore div1. Okay. I now need to go to styles.css. I need to make a style for it. So first thing I do, for something that's got an ID like that, to control it from a style sheet, we need to put a hashtag before its name. We're going to write, not div this time, we're going to write p1 underscore div1. I'm going to do my squiggly brackets again and press enter. So the first thing I want to do, I want it to be able to float around freely. So I write the word position. I'll write absolute. Okay. Do you see it's just kind of floating above things now? I'm now going to write width equals 300 px. So do you notice the text is coming into line? I'm now going to write top equals 100 px. This is moving down from the top. We write left. If we write 200 px, it will be 200 pixels from the left. So top and left allow you to specify how far from the top it is, how many pixels from the left it is. So you can start moving things around loads. Okay, and finally, if I write background, let's choose a nice hex color for this. So we'll go for a powdery blue. Really sky blue. Really like that. That's really cool. And I'm just going to get that. Going to go back to Trinket. And I'm going to put that in there. And all of a sudden it's in a sky blue box. Okay. I'm going to just quickly Google this one, so W3 Schools. Because I don't know this off the top of my head. But it's a good idea for you to see that as well. So if I go for positioning, that's it. Or inline block, where is it? It's not that at all, is it? I'm looking for text. I want to position the text in the center. So it's a whole load of stuff at the bottom. And again, you can use the W3 Schools website for this kind of thing. So we're looking for horizontal align, text align. There we go, text align is what I'm after. And a nice example of that would be center. Spelled C-E-N-T-E-R, right, like the Americans do. So I put text dash align, and I put center. It should position everything centrally. Okay, the height of this is still a little bit too high, so I'm going to write height. I'm going to give that 400 px. That's too much, isn't it? Let's go for 200 px. Too little. 300. Perfect. But you notice how you've got this little box now, and if I go for left, I go for 100 from the left. I get that now, don't I? But it's obviously over the hyperlink there. So let's make it from the top by 150. Yeah, and you can move it around wherever you want. You just play around with the pixels from the top and left there. Background. Finally, I'm going to go for border. Right. We specify how thick the border is, so 1px. Actually, I'm going to have a bit of fun. 2px. You could have solid. And then, should we go for pink? It's a bit too much, isn't it? White. Or you could just use a hex code. Alright. So we could even have 4px solid and white gets thicker. See? 5px solid and white gets even thicker. And instead of solid, we could go for dotted. Like that. So you can start really playing around with those. Okay. And so that's how to make an absolutely positioned div. As I said, it's a little box. And what we did was we put div on either side of the area that we want to put inside the box. So on either side of all the code relating to the stuff we want to go inside the box. We give it an ID, and I go for P1 for page 1, obviously, and then underscore div1. So they've each got different numbers, and I go into the style sheet, put a hashtag for that particular div. And I can position it and move it around. And that positioning it absolutely means it can float around on the page. And if I want to, I can position it absolutely anywhere on the web page I want. If we've got lots of these blocks for lots of divs, you can start rearranging your web page the way you want.